My name is Vishal Shaw. I am taking care of entire retail health insurance pan India. I am working here from 5 years and I take care of entire hardcore retail health. Okay?
What is
So,
it, hardcore?
retail health insurance.
Why do you say hardcore?
Because apart from retail health, I don't take care of anything else. That is the reason I take care of hardcore retail health. That's the reason I used this. Thank you. So I'll be going through slides. I will not ask you to note down your questions and ask me at the end of the slide that what are the questions. You can stop me in between and ask me any kind of questions if you have related to that.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you. So now we'll start with health insurance. When we talk about health insurance, we have to follow three important and major principles of health insurance. The first principle which we need to follow is principle of utmost good faith. Second principle is principle of insurable interest, and the third principle is principle of indemnity. Starting with first principle principle of utmost good faith. It says that the person who is taking the policy and the insurance company who is providing the policy to the client has to declare each and every details what they have in the policy, so that later on if there is any kind of claims or any issues in the policies, the company and the customer both are transparent and they all know each other that what is going on in the policy. For example, I am willing to take a health insurance policy and I am supposedly having diabetes from last 8 years. Today I want to take a health insurance policy. Now I call someone, I call up Vishal and I told him that Vishal, I want to take a health insurance policy. I asked him, sir, what is your medical history and everything. The customer didn't say anything. He said that I am completely fit and fine because he ignored diabetes. He said it's a normal lifestyle. Diabetes आजकल हर एक client को ही होता है. So ठीक है. अब I have nothing. So what I do now, I made the quotation with the insurance company as per his date of birth and as per his sum insured requirement. And on addition to that, I have provided my recommendation also that as per your age and the current situation, we would suggest you to go ahead with this plan. Later on, when we customer has finalized the plan, when we take the proposal form to the client and we say that sir, is there any kind of pre-medical condition or you are you are taking on a regular medications or anything like that, client still says no. Policy is issued, we have collected the check and the policy is issued.
Who fills up the claim form?
Client.
He himself does it.
Yes.
Sorry, not claim form, proposal form.
Client.
Okay.
So client fills up the form, we stay there, we help them if there is any doubts. Once the form is complete, we submit the check to the insurance company, and once we submit the check to the insurance company, the policy is issued. The check has been cleared. Now, the policy is running from 3 years, 4 years, every year the client is renewing the policy. 5 years down the line, there is a small claim in the policy, and the claim is related to his kidney. Why that claim came? Just because he had diabetic and he was high diabetic, which he didn't declare in the policy. When it comes to claims, the company comes to know that the client is already having diabetic from last 8 years, but he has not declared in the policy. So the entire claim gets denied. Later on, when the client comes up to us and the insurance company that why my claim is denied, the company straightforward says that there is a non-disclosure in the policy, so that is the reason the claim is denied. There are possibilities that the company might forfeit your policy as well. They will not ask you to continue the policy, and they might forfeit the policy due to non-disclosure. Reason? They have broken the principle of utmost good faith, and that is the reason why the policy gets forfeited and the relationship with the person who has provided the policy and the insurance company becomes bad due to non-disclosure. Now the best way to avoid all these situations are, we need to declare, since we are taking health insurance, when we go to a doctor, we say entire problem what we are facing from. If we had anything, who is the sufferer? We are the sufferer. In the same way, when we are taking a health insurance policy, a medical policy, we have to make sure that we are declaring each and everything in the policy, so that if there is any kind of claims, the company doesn't have the right to deny the claim if it is coming under any non-disclosure. Similarly, vice versa, I have taken a policy, but the person who has provided me the policy has not declared anything to us. What happens? Later on, so suppose Anandji came to me and he told me that Vishal, you should take a health insurance policy. I said, okay, fine, fair enough, we'll go ahead, take a health insurance policy. Now Anandji, I told Anandji very clearly that Anandji, I want a policy where I don't want any kind of restrictions on room rent and ICU. I don't want any kind of capping on my policy. So provide me that policy. Now Anandji said, fair enough. He provided me a policy where there is no restrictions on room rent, but I can only get single standard AC room. Apart from that, I cannot take any other rooms. Now I have the faith that I told Anandji will provide me that policy with no limitations on my room rent. Later on, there is a claim. Due to pandemic or XYZ reasons, single rooms are not available, and I don't want to go in a single room because I have paid a premium for a policy where there is no restrictions on room rent. So I take the suite room for all my treatments. When my bill comes, suppose I have a limitation of 6,000 rupees for a single room, and I have admitted to a room where the cost of room is 20,000 rupees per day, just an example. So approximately 14,000 rupees is an extra amount which has been charged by the hospital on everyday basis for room rent, right? So that expenses is not paid by the insurance company because I have a limitation on my room rent. I will get only single standard AC room, and the cost of that single standard AC room in that hospital is 6,000 rupees. Again, when it comes to claims, I see my claims amount is 5 lakh, but the company has only approved 3 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees. Rest amount is not paid by the insurance company. Why? Because that amount has been adjusted because I have taken a room where I have to stay in a very good way, which I had discussed with Anandji. So again, the Anandji has broken the faith. He has not provided me a policy which I really wanted, and it's my fault also. I have not surrendered the policy, having a faith on Anandji, right? So again, what happens? My claims gets denied, and nothing will happen with the insurance company, neither the customer. It's just the relationship breaks down. So we will always make sure that whenever we are providing policy, we should be clear and precise enough on utmost good faith, so that later on no one pays the sufferer. Next is principle of insurable interest. Just taking an example, me and Anandji has a factory. Suppose a very big factory, steel factory and steel factory. Both of them have a steel factory. And now we are very good childhood friends. But somehow I will not have the interest to take a fire policy for Anandji's factory. Neither Anandji will have that interest to take a fire insurance for my factory. And if we have interest also, if we want also, the insurance company will not allow us to take the policy or allow us to pay the premium on behalf of that person, because Anandji's name is nowhere in my company, my name is nowhere in Anandji's company. So until and unless I want to take a fire policy from the insurance company, I will not be able to take that policy, because I am not having that insurable interest. Once I see that yes, if there is any kind of fire or mishappening in my company, I will be the one who will be getting some amount from the insurance company. So I have that interest, and that is the reason I am going to buy a policy. Anandji, what he can do at most, he can guide me and he can tell me that Vishal, please go ahead and take the policy. How it is relatable to health insurance, I'll just tell you. For example, sir, you are running an insurance company and I am an employee in your organization. Not only me, you have an employee base of, let's say, 8 to 9 people, not 10 people, 8 to 9 people. And you are not eligible to take a group medical claim policy, because group medical claim policy's criteria is there should be only 10 members and above to take a group medical claim policy. But you are being very kind to your employees and you are saying that I want to take a health insurance policy for my employees. So the only option which you have left except group medical claim is retail health, individual policy for all the members. Now, if you think that you can pay the premium through your check without giving any declaration to the insurance company that I am an employer and they are my employees of my organization, you cannot take a policy. You cannot simply give a check and take the policy for us. Either there are two options. Either you pay the amount to me and I pay the check to the insurance company from my account for my health insurance policy. This is the first option. Second, either you pay the check and you give a declaration, a company declaration that these are the list of my employees who I am willing to take the policy for. The third option is either you make the payment online through your debit card, credit card or net banking. This is the only three options how you can take the policy. Or else if you are willing to take a policy for me, you cannot take a policy until you are making online payment or a declaration mandate, and either you are transferring the amount to me. So insurable interest is very important. The third principle is principle of indemnity. This is applicable in health insurance. Why? I'll tell you. There are two kinds of policies in health insurance. One is indemnity policy, one is benefit policy. Now there is a small difference between indemnity policy and a different benefit policy. Benefit, I will start with benefit policy. Benefit policy means I have taken a policy for a sum insured of 50 lakh rupees, where the company says if I am diagnosed with any kind of pre-medical, if I am diagnosed with any kind of medical history, I will be admitted to the hospital irrespective of the claims amount. Whatever the sum insured is opted by me, the company will pay me the entire sum insured. So it's a benefit for the client. They are giving it on a lump sum basis. This is known as benefit policy. On the other hand, what do you mean by indemnity policy? Suppose I have taken a policy for a sum insured of 50 lakh rupees and my claims has incurred around 60 lakh rupees. Right? So the company will only pay 50 lakh rupees. Now, just one more example. Suppose I have taken a policy of 50 lakh rupees, but my claims amount is around 30 lakh rupees. Having a consideration in my mindset that I have taken a health insurance policy of 50 lakh and irrespective of claim amount, I can get the entire claims, the answer is no. Sorry. You cannot get that entire amount in indemnity policy. Indemnity says whatever the actual amount has been incurred, that is the amount which will be paid by the insurance company. If it is under the sum insured, if it is over the sum insured, the maximum amount which will be paid is the sum insured amount. Apart from that, nothing else. So, when we are providing our health insurance policy, if it is an indemnity policy, we need to be very clear in our points that this is an indemnity policy जिसमें आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ जितना खर्च आएगा उतना ही मिलेगा, उससे ज़्यादा का कोई भी एक्सपेंसेस नहीं मिलेगा. You're not gonna get a single cent apart from that. ठीक है? So, any questions on this slide, sir, or Anand, sir?
Yes.
Moving forward. So this slide is made for some training purpose for such people who are very much new to insurance and they are not aware of what is insurance and everything. So I don't think I need to explain you, but still I will tell you. When we talk about health insurance and we are sitting with a client, let's say I am sitting with Anand sir and I am meeting him. He has never heard about health insurance and he don't have any trust on health insurance. Just being very much practical. So he tells me what is health insurance. The next question he asks me what are the importance of health insurance, and the third question he asked me what is the need of health insurance. So the answer for all the three questions in a simple language is health insurance is a proper security. Is a security for us and for our entire family. It doesn't gives you anything. It never gives you anything. It just gives you a peace of mind that if there is any mishappening related to my health, I don't need to spend my entire savings which I have saved for my luxury life. The insurance company is there. We have made an agreement with the insurance company by taking a policy that on behalf of the coverage which the company is providing me, I am paying the premium against that. So just a peace of mind and a relaxation, because a most important line which is said by a very good people, I don't recall the name, that accident and disease never knocks the door and comes to us. Accident and disease never knocks our door and comes to us. They can come at any point of time to anyone. And a very big example is COVID. we are aware that so many people has lost their lives, so many people has lost their jobs, so many people has lost their living style, the way they were living, because they have lost their loved ones. And maximum people have taken loans and mortgages to recover that loved one's persons. So that is why if they would have a health insurance, COVID would be covered in their policy, and at least it would have saved at least to the some extent. So that is the reason why we need to give a health insurance policy to all Indians. Any questions on this? Thank you. So the next point what we talk about is when we talk to a client. Now I'll just tell you how we will understand what is the requirement of the client and what product to pitch the client. What is the best product which we can provide the client. The first question we need to ask the client is, so what is the optimum amount of sum insured which you are looking for? आप क्या sum insured देख रहे हैं या फिर क्या coverage amount लेना चाहते हैं? To understand what is the sum insured they are looking for, we need to ask these questions which are there on the slide. The first question is the customer whether he is living in a metro city or a non-metro city. If he is living in a metro city, we need to understand that INCO we have to provide some higher sum insured so that it's sufficient for their medical expenses. For example, if the client is living in Bombay, I cannot provide him a sum insured for of 2 lakh rupees because 2 lakh is nothing in Bombay expenses. But if the client is staying in Madhya Pradesh or UP, we can afford to give him a sum insured of 2 lakh rupees just on a second thought, right? So if the client is living in a metro city, yes sir. Okay. If the client is living in a metro city, we need to minimum provide a sum insured of 10 to 20 lakh rupees if they are taking a policy for themselves, their wife and their kids. If there is a family of 3, we need to provide a minimum sum insured of 10 to 20 lakh rupees so that they can survive with that sum insured. If there is any kind of medical conditions, this expenses would be incurred. This is in general. If the client is living in Kolkata, let's say, or you can observe in Tamil Nadu, Chennai, these kinds of zone 2 cities, we can provide them a sum insured for a family of 3 is 5 lakh to 7 lakh rupees. That's a standard sum insured which we have to provide. This is all related to metro cities and non-metro cities. Now we have to provide that sum insured what customer is asking for. If we don't have a budget, living in Mumbai, he says that I want to take a policy of 5 lakh because that is my budget, we have to provide that. At most we can do is we can explain the right. That's it. Second is choice of hospital. Suppose my first criteria is customer is staying in a Madhya Pradesh. Just an example. But the customer says that Vishal, I want to take a policy, whatever the sum insured you are looking for, you decide, but I want to take my treatment in a reputed hospital in Bridge Candy, which is in Bombay. Now, if the client is staying in Madhya Pradesh and he is planning to take his hospitalization in Bridge Candy, Bombay, I cannot provide him a sum insured of 5 lakh. That is nothing. Again, I have to increase my sum insured to provide him. So, this is also a very important question. Sir, what is the choice of hospital you are looking for if there is any? Third is coverage within India or abroad. We need to understand whether the customer is taking a policy coverage only in India or he is planning to take the claims in abroad as well. So for example, Tata AIG, I'll name the company, Tata AIG has a policy where they says that you can take any kind of claims which you want in abroad also. Tata AIG has this policy. But the only loophole with Tata AIG is they provide a maximum sum insured of 50 lakh rupees. Over and above 50 lakh, you have to take a super top up of 1 CR. The best part is they provide international cover on super top up as well.
Minimum sum insured to minimum sum insured to enter this policy.
5 lakh.
Minimum 5 lakh. Then anyone can.
Yes. But 5 lakh is nothing in abroad treatment.
No, I just.
Yes, you are right. 5 lakh is the minimum sum insured which we can provide. Starting from 5 lakh till 50 lakh. And super top up I can take up to 1 CR. That's the maximum. The best part in Tata AIG, now suppose I go to sir and I tell him that sir, there is a policy from Tata AIG who gives you international coverage as per your requirement. Now, sir tells me that Vishal, how stupid, you are telling me a policy for a sum insured of 50 lakh and 1 CR which is nothing. if I go to USA or Boston to get my treatment done? I say you're absolutely right, sir. In that case, what I'll do is that, sir, there is a very good feature in Tata AIG. Apart from this policy, I'll give you a small separate policy of 10 lakh rupees, which gives you Indian coverage. Right? This policy, sir, you keep this policy for 2 years at least with yourself. In 2 years, this policy will be doubled because you'll be getting no claim bonus. And the Tata AIG, how they provide no claim bonus, if there is no claim in your policy for the first year, your 50% of the sum insured increases. For example, I have taken a policy of 50 lakh. Next year, when I renew my policy, it becomes 75 lakh.
First year, if there is no any claim, your cumulative bonus is 50%.
50% enhanced with your existing sum insured. The next year, if there is again no claim, again they gives you a jump of 50%.
50% for what? Basic sum insured or
basic sum insured. So in 2 years, your sum insured became double.
100%.
So your 50 lakh policy became 1 CR and your 1 CR policy became 2 CR. 3 CR is a sufficient amount to get your treatment done in abroad. Okay? With a very minimum premium, the premium for Tata AIG is very minimum compared to global cover which we are looking for. So this is the third question which is very important. And the fourth question is policy for individual member or whole family. For example, I go to sir and I tell him, sir, you're willing to take a policy for yourself or your family members. The moment sir tells me that विशाल मेरे को सस्ता सुविधा अच्छा प्लान बताना जो मेरे लिए सीमित हो उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. So I will provide a policy of 5 lakh rupees उससे ज़्यादा नहीं because that is sir's requirement. The moment sir tells me that विशाल मेरे को अपनी wife अपने बच्चे सबके लिए लेना है, I'll tell you sir you take a policy of 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs. क्या भरोसा एक साथ अपने 4 मेंबर्स जा रहे हैं और कुछ मिस हैपनिंग हो जाता है और चारों हॉस्पिटलाइज है, पांचों हॉस्पिटलाइज है फॉर एग्जांपल, तब क्या होगा? Right? So these are the 4 questions which we need to ask to understand what is the optimum sum insured which the client is asking for. Any questions on this slide? Thank you, sir. So the next is points to keep in mind. So points to keep in mind when I talk about, it says network hospital. Again, we need to understand that the client is looking for which hospital the client who is looking for a policy, I should be aware that the maximum hospitals in their network is covered in that policy. So that it's easy and hassle free for the client not to rush here and there where cashless facilities are available. Right? If it is nearby, for example, I stay in Bombay and Leelavati is very nearby my home and it is not covered in Tata, it is covered in Max Bupa. Whereas client told me that I don't want any global cover. So I will suggest him Max Bupa policy because Leelavati is nearby his home. He can run any time to Leelavati if there is any kind of mishappening and the treatment will be done cashless. कोई नहीं चाहता मैं पहले पैसा दूँ. Right? पहले मेरा cashless claims हो जाए उसके बाद मैं हो जाए. Right?
मैक्सिमम 90% से ज़्यादा लोगों के दिमाग में एक चीज़ है
कैश. The second is room rent limit. कोई कस्टमर नहीं चाहेगा कि मेरे पॉलिसी में लिमिटेशंस हो until and unless कस्टमर्स का बजट अलाउ नहीं करता है तो. For example, or to be very honest sir, आप लोग को आइडिया होगा ही. Still I am telling you, room rent limitations में मैं अगर बात करूँ तो टाटा AIG जो पॉलिसी देती है या फिर जो भी कंपनी पॉलिसी देती है रूम रेंट पे, फॉर एग्जांपल मेरे एज पे प्रीमियम आ रहा है 13,000 रुपीज फॉर अ सम इंश्योर ऑफ 10 लाख, जिसमें मेरे को सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड एसी रूम मिल रहा है. अगर मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे रूम में कोई लिमिट ना रहे तो मेरा प्रीमियम आएगा 13,900 रुपीज. 900 से 1000 रुपए के डिफरेंस में मेरा रूम रेंट का लिमिटेशन जो है वो पूरा बढ़ जाता है.
नहीं, आजकल तो रूम रेंट की जो कैपिंग है लगभग काफी कंपनियां हटा दी.
मैक्सिमम मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज हटा दी है सर. कुछ कंपनीज जैसे स्टार हेल्थ हो गई, केयर इंश्योरेंस हो गई, हाँ
कुछ जगह पे है 2% 4%
राइट.
अदरवाइज मैक्सिमम कंपनी लाइक मैक्स बुपा, रॉयल सुंदरम.
मैक्स बुपा में स्टिल एक लिमिटेशन है सर. एनी रूम एक्सेप्ट स्वीट. हाँ, स्वीट छोड़ के सारे रूम. हाँ, मणिपाल सिग्ना जो भी है मणिपाल सिग्ना, उसमें भी सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड एसी रूम चलता ही आ रहा है. अच्छा ठीक है.
रॉयल सुंदरम में कोई रूम रेंट नहीं है. वो
कोई रूम रेंट नहीं है. रॉयल में नहीं है, टाटा में नहीं है, आपका इसमें hdfc ergo में नहीं है.
अच्छा वो अपोलो के साथ में है. अपोलो हाँ
मैग्ना HDI में नहीं है. सो दीस आर द कंपनीज जिसमें नहीं है रूम रेंट का कैपिंग. सो सिग्ना में सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड एसी रूम डिपेंडिंग अपॉन प्लान टू प्लान है सर उनका. 5 से 10 लाख तक सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड एसी रूम, 10 से 20 लाख तक सिंगल से ऊपर
सम इंश्योर्ड.
हाँ यस. So this is the second criteria for the client which they are looking for. Third is they are looking for no co-payment in my policy. I don't want any kind of restrictions or foundations in my policy. The policy which I am taking for is entirely cashless and I shouldn't pay any single cent from my pocket. Now मैंने वैसे ही पॉलिसी बना के दिया, बट वन थिंग आई मिस्ड आउट कि कस्टमर की पॉलिसी में कंज्यूमेबल्स इज नॉट कवर्ड, जो नॉन पेबल्स आइटम्स होता है। फिर कस्टमर गेट्स एंग्री कि विशाल मैंने आपको बोला था कि सारा पेमेंट होना चाहिए। देन आई विल अगेन रीमॉडिफाई दैट एंड अगेन मेक दैट पॉलिसी consumable free. Either in that company if option is available, or I'll switch that policy to a different company where consumables is covered up to some insured. Some examples of the company where consumables are also covered: Royal Sundaram doesn't cover consumable. Tata AIG gives you consumable coverage. Max Bupa gives you 25% of the consumable amount. पूरा बिल पे 5% ही आता है, वो 5% में 25% देते हैं। और आपका मैग्मा SDI gives you consumables covers, but it is an optional cover. और HDFC has newly launched a plan where consumable is covered, but HDFC के साथ जो टाई अप हुआ है अपोलो म्यूनिक का, अपोलो म्यूनिक का एक पॉलिसी है ऑप्टिमा रिस्टोर बोल के, which is now with HDFC obviously, उसमें भी there is an optional where you can add consumables.
Opt or not?
Opt or not, yes. 800 का premium का answer. Yes. So consumables is also covered, which clients are looking for. And this line has been added specifically by me because I have faced a lot of problems and lot of experience after COVID. There are maximum HNI clients who says that I don't want to go for medical checkup. शायद मेरे को भाई एक ऐसा पॉलिसी देना जिसमें मेडिकल चेकअप ना हो और मेरा पॉलिसी बन जाए. Now it becomes very difficult for me for the client age above 60. ऐसा कौन सा पॉलिसी दे जिसमें मेडिकल्स नहीं होगा? Because the concept of the client is मैं जाऊंगा मेडिकल टेस्ट करवाने के लिए डायग्नोस्टिक सेंटर में, या फिर कोई बंदा आएगा मेरे पास ट्रीटमेंट टेस्ट करने के लिए, क्या भरोसा मेरे को कोविड हो गया तो who takes the authority? I have no answer for that.
Who takes the
authority?
Responsibility.
Okay, responsibility, my mistake. Responsibility. So the client says that who takes the responsibility? So in that case we have cracked some deals with the insurance company, talking with them that sir, Tata AIG का जो policy है उसमें 65 तक there is no medical test. Care Insurance has again started medical test from yesterday, Monday. But till before they had waived off medical test for all the clients, irrespective of age. So if the client is looking for some
Which company?
Care Insurance. So if the client is looking for policy where no medical test is required, we provide this policy. Recently I have closed a case for 6 lakh rupees, 6,39,000 from Royal Sundaram. Royal Sundaram after the age of 60 medical test is mandatory, right? So since the premium was high, the company approved that okay, let's waive off the medical test. We will do the medical test over the phone and over video conference call, and we will waive off the medical. And happy to share that the policy is successfully issued. Yes, he has taken the policy for 3 years altogether. He has paid a premium of 6,39,000 for 1.5 CR. Elite plan or something is there. This is the fourth point. So, any questions on this slide? This is a COVID-19 special arrangement policy, sir. When COVID was there, I didn't thought of adding this slide, but just to the reason of adding this slide is any kind of person who is looking for COVID policy. What we have done, what we have experienced, that the premium for COVID maximum companies has closed COVID policies, right? But they are not providing us to sell the policy to the clients.
Right? Because of high
Yes, yes. So they are not allowing us. They are the policies available in the website. If any client wants to take the policy, they can go to the website and take the policy.
Online policy.
Yes, but we are not authorized to sell that. So what happens when we get suppose you have given me a reference?
Tell me, it is the instruction of IRDA that they had come out with this policy.
Yes, sir. Last year, right?
And if they are not selling the policy anymore through brokers or through agents, then this is a serious lapse on the part of the insurance company of not following the directive of IRDA. And I believe that they would be penalized for this.
So I'm not sure of on this point. Reasoning, they have not closed the policy. The policy is still there in their website, and IRDA has told that you have to run this policy. They didn't say that you have to provide this to brokers. I have not got this instruction.
No.
That this circular has been circulated with everyone. That IRDA has to give the authority to the broker also to provide a corona policy. So now what we are doing, what I was saying, yes sir, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. Now what I was, the reason of adding this slide, if there is any client who is looking for COVID policies as a sales point of view and as a customer retention point of view, what I do is that I tell them of COVID policy, whoever company is providing us, like New India is giving us COVID policy and Digit Insurance is giving us COVID policies, retail COVID policies. So I give them the quotations. What if the client is not willing to pay higher premium? Then they can at least get that policy. Alternatively, I give them the quotations for retail health also, standard health insurance quotation also, so that it's easy for compare. The first loophole of Corona Kavach policy, it is not renewable. So next year, I'm not sure whether the client is going to renew the policy or not. The benefit compared to Corona policy and retail policy is it is renewable. So I have that strength in my hand that next year I can approach the client to renew the policy, and the client will renew the policy. Second is Corona policy only covers Corona. Apart from that, no other fungus. Apart from that, the retail health policy which we are providing to the client, it covers all kind of diseases after 30 days of the policy issuance. So that risk is also not there in the policy. The only loophole is Corona Kavach policy is having lesser premium and retail health policy is having a little higher premium, but benefits are there.
But when you are using the term little less premium and little higher premium, I have seen for myself, I have both kind of policies, both the Corona Kavach as well as retail health.
Okay.
There is a wide difference of premium between the retail health and the Corona Kavach.
Okay.
I am paying close to around 23,000 rupees for my retail health. Alright. Whereas for this one, Corona Kavach is 3,000 something.
For one member?
No, for 3 members.
Corona Kavach is also for 3 members, 3,000. And retail health?
Same 3 members.
22,000. From which company you have taken the policy, sir? Corona Kavach Oriental?
Corona Kavach I have taken from Oriental.
Oriental.
And the retail health policy has been taken from hdfc ergo.
hdfc ergo. Okay. So, sir, one small thing which I want to say. If I compare a policy, a government policy from a private company policy, yes, difference would be there. Premium difference would be there.
Not so significant, na?
You are absolutely right on your part, but then I will take my words back. Little premium. There is a big difference on the premium. Coverage wise also there is a wide difference if I say.
No, this is a specific Corona policy.
It's a specific Corona policy where only Corona is covered. Apart from that, nothing is covered. Here, any kind of disease, any kind of accident, everything is covered.
Even including Corona.
Sorry?
Including Corona.
Including COVID. Right. So that is the reason I prefer, because of the 2-3 points which I told you, that it can be renewable. And now Oriental Insurance has also stopped providing Corona policy, I guess. Did you get any chance to review the policy?
I'm not aware. I haven't interacted with them.
Okay.
But they are not taking fresh proposals, but they are renewing the policies. Renewing means you have to restart again.
Yes.
With a 15 days
initial waiting period.
Waiting period. You have to restart again.
Yes.
But that is there, but they are doing it for existing customers only.
Okay. Well, we got the instruction from Oriental Insurance that we are no longer providing this policy until and unless it is a group mediclaim policy, a company who is asking for that policy. Already they are having that policy, we can provide only to them. Apart from that, I cannot provide anyone.
Okay.
So this is the instruction which we got from the client, insurance company. So this is the criteria. Any questions on this slide?
ट्रेनिंग में आगे निकलेंगे बस तुरंत में कंप्लीट हो जाएगा.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
वो जो रिमूवल नोटिस आया गलत आया.
So when we talk about exclusions and traps, what I found within this 5 years, what I had experienced, maybe I can learn something from you also. The only trap in health insurance is pre-existing diseases. It is due to non-disclosure. If I make sure that I disclose everything, yes, the company might give you some waiting period or they might deny your policy. They might not accept your policy due to your medical condition. But they cannot deny my claim if I have declared everything.
Quite right.
After specific waiting period, the company will give me claim. Whatever the waiting period is applicable in my policy. So the only trap which I find in health insurance is we need to disclose each and every medical history which I have, so that later on, for that medical history, if I have to pay 2000 rupees premium extra as a loading, I am ready to pay that. But I make sure today I am saving 2000 rupees without disclosing the medical history. Tomorrow, if there is a claim of 2 lakh rupees, I don't need to pay that from my pocket.
Right, aptly said.
So that is the reason what I find is the only trap in health insurance is non-disclosure of pre-existing diseases. If I disclose each and everything in the policy, there is no one who can stop me for getting the claims. If the company is not giving me any claims, I have an option to go to ombudsman. Right, sir? So this is the only trap which I found in health insurance. Apart from this, I don't find any trap. Any questions on this slide, sir? Special policies, yes, I need to highlight some points on this. There are some special policies which are provided by certain companies. For example, I will name the companies also. Star Health has a policy where diabetes is covered from day one. The name of that policy is Diabetes Safe Policy. Along with Star Health, Apollo Munich, which is now hdfc Ergo Health, has a policy where diabetes is covered from day one. Diabetes and blood pressure both. So there is a policy for specific diabetes policy also, where the customer is diabetic and he is saying that I want to get the coverage from day one. So we cannot refuse the client. We have an option where we can provide coverage for diabetes and blood pressure as well from day one. Second is
any capping is there?
no, sir.
Nothing is
No capping. The
Day one,
premium
day
is
over.
higher.
Achha.
The premium is higher.
Very much higher.
Not very much. I'll just tell you premium for my age. I am 27 years now. For me, if I take a retail health policy, the premium would be 6,000 rupees. If I take a
5 lakh sum insured.
for 5 lakh sum insured,
6,000.
6,000 rupees for myself. Only individual policy. If I take a diabetic policy, I need to pay 11,500 ke aaspas. It's double the premium what you're paying. But diabetes on insulin is covered from day one, depending upon the policy acceptance by the insurance company. Second is cancer specific policy, sir. We have some policies where only cancer is covered. If a person has not diagnosed with cancer, I will take only policy because I think there is a genetic disease in my family. For example, cancer is my genetic disease. So I want to be secured. So I have taken a cancer specific policy, which is again from Star Health. Star Health is providing cancer specific policies. Along with that, there are some policies where after the detection of cancer also, there are possibilities that the company may issue the policy depending upon medicals, which will happen for the client. There would be two scenarios. I need to say three scenarios. First scenario, either the policy will be accepted or rejected. Second scenario is either cancer would be covered in the policy or cancer will not be covered in the policy, but the policy will be accepted with a permanent exclusion on cancer. Third, there would be certain percentage of capping in the policy for anything related to cancer. Apart from cancer, anything happens, it is covered up to sum insured. So these are the three scenarios. This is a very difficult proposal we need to apply, but yes, if we get any proposals, we apply, and we have cracked our maximum cases also for cancer specific.
Which company?
From Care Insurance, we have cracked maximum deals. From Star Health also, we have cracked 2 to 3 deals.
Means there is a
Probability that if the person has already suffered from cancer, can take the policy.
मीन्स अगर उसका जो कैंसर जो है 10 साल या 15 साल की
सर टोटल पॉलिसी पूरा डिपेंड करेगा मेडिकल्स के ऊपर.
मेडिकल
हाँ, और वो पॉलिसी में मेडिकल इज मैंडेटरी.
हाँ ना वो
Third is maternity policy, sir. You guys are aware or not? I'm not sure, but there was a maternity specific policy which was launched by Future generally. Recently, it's not been many days they have launched or many months they have launched. They have launched recently, but unfortunately they have again closed that plan. So what was that plan all about? Maternity would be covered after 9 months of the policy issuance. Maternity expenses are covered after 9 months of the policy issuance. Later on, there was a clause that maternity would be paid only 70,000 rupees after 9 months of the policy issuance.
Means?
Only 70,000 rupees would be paid for maternity after
अच्छा,
9 months of
for
policy.
for
maternity.
maternity purpose,
Yes.
only company will pay
70,000, irrespective of sum insured.
Any kind of it means sum insured SI is 2 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh.
2 lakh तो available नहीं है. 3 lakh से whatever sum insured you take. से maximum is 70,000.
कोई अगर 3 लाख का भी लिया तो भी उसको 70,000 और कोई 10 लाख
50 लाख का लिया तो भी उसको 70,000. Yes. Now what they have done, they have just reduced 50% of the sum insured for maternity. They have made अब irrespective of sum insured सिर्फ 35,000 रुपए मिलेगा for maternity up after 9 months of the policy issuance. SBI General Insurance, again it is kind of COVID policy, sir, you can relate that. It is not only specific maternity policy, it covers all diseases as well, including maternity. The benefit of the policy is after 9 months of the policy issuance, maternity is covered up to sum insured. After 9 months of the policy issuance, minimum sum insured is 10 lakh rupees. Starting sum insured is 10 lakh rupees for that policy. Initially, when this policy was launched, maybe 3 to 4 years ago, I personally sold that plan. That policy could have been provided for individual members also. Maternity is not required for us. So I have sold that policy for wives. जो भी customers की wives हैं उनके लिए individual policies provide किया. Later on we got circular from SBI that we cannot provide individual policy. We have to provide floater policy. So I have sold many policies where husband and wife both are covered, because saying that not only maternity is covered in the policy, along with maternity everything is covered in the policy. Now we have got circular from the insurance company, I mean maybe a year ago, that brokers cannot provide that policy.
For maternity.
This SBI maternity policy. It is available online. You can take that policy directly from online, but we cannot provide that policy. And it is still active in online. If I want to buy a maternity policy online, I can take that policy, but that policy will not come under Ideal Insurance. That policy will be directly from SBI. So this is a maternity specific policy. Next is senior citizen policy, again from Star Health. They have a specific senior citizen policies where premiums are very less and the coverage amount is reluctant.
There is co-payment for senior citizen.
30/70, yeah, in senior, but at least you can have an option to take a policy where there are some customers who have a thought process that senior citizen मतलब 60 के बाद policy नहीं मिलता है. There are maximum clients who I have faced who says कि 60 के बाद भी policy मिलता है क्या? उसके बाद 60 के बाद policy मिलता है तो I mean premium तो पूरा आसमान touch कर देगा. These are some feedbacks which I got from client. So that is the reason I added this कि senior citizens के लिए भी policies है. Any questions on this slide, sir? Thank you. Next is tax benefits, sir. I guess I am not the great person to explain you all this. You all are aware. If I take a policy for myself, or adding spouse and kids, I get a tax benefit of 25,000 rupees. If I take a policy for my parents, if they are below 60, I get a tax benefit of more 25,000 rupees under Section 80D. If I take a policy for my parents and if they are senior citizen above 60 years, I get a tax benefit of 50,000 under Section 80D. So if I have taken a policy, I can save this amount on tax benefit. That's all from my side, sir.